Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to the Filmbusters podcast. The film show with no filters, no prisoners taken, loads of disagreements, but one hell of a love for cinema.
If you want to hear three friends ridiculing each other for an hour or so regarding their taste in films, then you have come to the right place.
In each episode, one of the team picks a film for us to discuss. It could be anything from a recent cinema release to an all-time classic.
So, strap in and get ready to get mad or get vindicated as we guide you through the murky world of being a film geek.
If you like what you hear, you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram using @FilmbustersPod. You can also find each of our individual accounts. I'm at Filmbusters Paul.
I'm at Filmbusters Adam.
And I'm at Filmbusters Ben.
If you want to use your eyes instead of your ears, you can also visit the website at filmbusтерspod.co.uk.
And if busting makes you feel good, you can also support us at patreon.com/filmbusters for exclusive content.
Alright, can we just get on with this now, please?
Filmbusters.
Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of the Best of 2023 episode that we're doing, and you'll know what it is. Now it's the top 10 of 2023, the best films that were released in 2023 that we have watched.
Yes.
Yeah. And let me just say, from my own point of view, based on both of your lists and my list, this has been one of the worst years for cinematic releases since we've been doing this podcast, in my opinion.
I think for some reason this year's thing is very back heavy. I don't know if it's like the actor strike and all of that, but like everything kind of seems to come out in the last, like in December, and I just haven't got around to watching it.
I think I've got a fair enough spread in my top 10 in terms of when I've watched things.
I feel like there's quite a few that have come out.
Well, they but they do that to coincide with the Oscars as well, don't they? Anything that's been dropping within the last month or so is because they're like, let's try and sweep that Oscar thing. Yeah. Case in point, fucking Maestro.
Shit.
Oscar bait. I refuse to watch that because it's Oscar bait.
We're not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about him in the roundup, but it is.
He's so up his own arse, Bradley Cooper, that he thinks he can even do that film, man. Just please learn your place.
Everything's
Sit
meant
down.
to be. Everything looks like everything's so slow and like so well spoken, and you're meant to think, oh, this is meant to be really thoughtful, and everyone's really well thinking about it, and they're so passionate, but they're actually not saying any meaning behind any word that's said in that film.
The man's also a nightmare. He wouldn't allow chairs on set because he says everyone should always be focused. Get over yourself, mate. Absolutely get over yourself. What are you talking about, mate? You were in The Hangover. It ain't that deep.
He's Rocket Raccoon, mate.
Exactly. It ain't that deep.
Right.
Okay.
Everyone, you're probably wondering, what's going to happen this episode? Well, I'm going to tell you. Basically, we're going to go Filmbusters order. Paul, Adam, Ben, and we're all going to go through the 10s, the 9s, the 8s, and basically talk about it. If we bring up a film that's going to appear later down the line in someone's list, we're going to stop and wait to speak about it until it appears there. And
excellent.
Then, just afterwards, we're going to do our little thing that we get to do every year and change some scores of some films we've done in the podcast. And that's it. That's the episode. So we start to get into it?
Yes. Let's get into it. Here we are. Okay. This is what the whole year has been building to.
Let's do this. Okay. My number 10. Saltburn.
It's the same for me.
It's higher up on my list.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, so go on then. Straight to you, Ben.
My number 10 is Rye Lane. Anyone got this?
I have got it. It's up at number 7 for me.
Oh, we'll wait until then.
What the hell's Rye Lane? I don't even know what that is.
One that's the romance that was set in Peckham.
Yeah. We'll talk about it when we get to Adam's number 7.
Okay.
Wow. Straight, the 10s are done already.
I'm just adding Rye Lane to my list. 1 sec. Oh, it's on Disney. Okay. Right then. So my number 9 is The Killer.
It's higher up on my list.
Oh, it's just going straight.
Well, you're not going to have my next one, so we'll have a film that we can talk about.
Okay.
My next film at number 9 is Big Shark.
Oh, okay. Come on now. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, Adam.
I mean,
go ahead.
It's just fun. It's fun. It's stupid. It's
Give
ridiculous.
Context for people. What is this film? I went
to see this. So this is the new Tommy Wiseau film. The guy who did The Room.
Stupid.
Yeah.
And it's his next film coming out. And I went to see it at the Prince Charles Cinema. He was there. It was their first ever screening of his film, apparently. he said in the world or something. I don't know if he's chatting shit or what he was doing.
I'm positive he was chatting shit.
Anyway, you never know with this guy. He did a Q&A and stuff before the film, and then we watched the film. Everyone was in such good spirits to watch this film. A little bit pissed, which I think is probably how you need to watch this film.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so stupid, it's so fun, it's so ridiculous. I had a fantastic time watching it.
You
You have
be
to
there.
watch it in the right environment.
I'd say so.
Yeah. Now, the question is, can it ever truly live up to the greatness of The Room? And I think we spoke about this on an end of month wrap up, Adam. And you said, did you say that you thought it was better than The Room, or am I making this
I
up?
think I'd rather I think The Room is got its cult following. It's quite famous for what it is, but I would prefer to rewatch this over The Room because I think it holds up better in certain ways. I think if The Room is The Room, it's like it's painfully bad, like, which makes it so good. Where this is painfully bad but kind of fun.
See, I am going to take you to task here, Adam, just because of something you have yourself have said today. When Paul was talking about fucking...
Avatar?
Oh, God. No. I've just blanked totally. What was the film that you had on your list, Paul? And Adam was like, Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear. Yeah.
So that's the impression I get with it. Is like you were saying, Cocaine Bear, they're trying to make that kind of film. That's why it doesn't work for you. But surely that's
No,
what
I mean it's Hollywood doing
Wasao's
it,
doing
but
here.
like the bear in Hollywood Bear is like good CGI. They've like got this, but this is awful CGI. It's awful. It's like everything a B movie
Why would you want to
should
watch
be.
it then?
Because that's what makes it. That's the charm of these films. It's like if you watch Sharksploitation and they go into depth about all of this and the Asylum films.
Well, I tell you that it would work for me if there is a trace of Tommy Wiseau actually thinking that he is somehow
still
making a
think
good
he's-
movie with this.
I still think he does think he is making a good movie. I still think in his heart of hearts, when
Well,
he's
that's okay.
when he's acting in the film, he's acting to his best ability.
Okay.
And I think it's the situations around him that is stupid. I don't know. I just got to watch it. I think it's
Well,
just.
I am going to watch it. There's no way that I won't
But you
watch
like,
it.
yeah, you got to have a couple of your little cocktails first and be in good spirits. I think.
Is it available to stream anywhere? I don't think
so.
it is it?
I don't know if it's one of those films that ever will.
I
Come
know
out in
this
that
is
way.
this is why I think Tommy Wiseau actually he's got a little bit of a brain on him, because for the most part, I don't even think The Room you can. Well, you can pay to rent it, I'm sure, but because it's so big
It's
now. But
event movies he's got.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
on
He
YouTube.
locks
It's
into
like
those
just
screenings.
the little bits of it, isn't it? But anyway, yeah.
Well, do you know what? God bless originality. There we go. The only person to have that in their top 10 of the year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big shock. All right. Well, nobody is going to have this on their list either. So my number 9, an 8 out of 10, is a film by Pedro Almodovar, and it's called Strange Way of Life. You guys heard of this?
Nope.
No.
It's a 30-minute film. It's on Mubi. Come on, Mubi, sponsor this podcast. And it stars Ethan Hawke and Pedro Pascal.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, Ethan Hawke is the sheriff of this town. And one day, Pedro Pascal rides into town, and you quickly realise that they haven't seen each other for about 25 years. And you quickly realise that the two of them know each other, or knew each other quite intimately. And it is played out in Western style, as in, this is the old Wild West. This is a sheriff of a town, and this Hispanic guy rides into town and fucks him, basically. Now, imagine you were watching that in a Western from
Literally
back in
or
the day.
metaphorically?
Literally.
Okay.
Okay.
They sleep
Alright.
together.
Okay.
That's their past. They were lovers. And you quickly
Subverting your
realise...
expectations.
subverting your expectations, but not if you know Pedro Almodovar, because he's such a fantastic director, but staunchly homosexual, and he puts it all over the screen. The colours in it are beautiful. The story and the way the story is told is beautiful, and you quickly realise that even though Pedro Pascal wanted to come and see Ethan Hawke after 25 years, there is an ulterior motive to his visit. But the whole thing hinges on the dialogue between these two guys, the way they're talking to each other. It's so well written. It's like an elaborate Spanish soap opera, but done in the Old West, where you've got characters you've never seen in that way before. It's not like Brokeback Mountain. This is like a sheriff of a small western town, and this guy rides in on horseback. Very well told, in and out. It's a short, but it's so good. Recommend it. You've got to get Mubi to watch it, and you see significant nudity, particularly from Pedro Pascal. Yeah, so I'm surprised Film Twitter isn't in meltdown, because they love him. They fucking love Pedro Pascal, and people aren't raving about the fact that he's half naked in it half the time.
Does he hang dong?
I feel like you get a sense of it. I'm not sure that you see all. It's not like Saltburn, put it that way.
You see all in that.
But yeah, Strange Way of Life.
Interesting. It's on the list. Lovely.
Back to you,
back
Paul.
to me. These, by the way, are these all 8 out of 10s from all of us so far?
Yeah.
Rye Lane was a 7 out of 10 for me, but we haven't talked about it yet.
Okay,
that was
cool.
an 8 out of 10, Strange Way of Life, yes.
Okay, my next is also an 8 out of 10. At 18th spot, we have Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I feel like we spoke about this not that long ago. It is, I just kind of expect I'm going to love a Mission Impossible film now. I didn't love it as much as Fallout. That's a straight 9 out of 10. It does lack a little bit with its plot, because it's all AI focused, and it almost gets a little bit too confusing, that you kind of have to go, okay, I'm just going to go with it, because it's an ongoing, evolving thing, because it's all happening in the background. You don't see like the villain do something that means that the situation's changed. It's something that's happened over the internet, basically. So you have to be explained it. There's a lot of exposition from characters, but it's still great. It's still a wonderful time. There's still those amazing stunts that Cruise does, and you can feel the physicality of it. You can see him doing them. And it's just fun. Mission Impossible movies is just fun, man. I just really enjoy them, and it's just another solid one.
I went down a rabbit hole a couple of weeks ago watching old Tom Cruise interviews when he was in the midst of his Scientology madness, and I almost feel like while he was going through that, whether it's midlife crisis or whatever it was, I know he still is a Scientologist, but he's much more quiet about it now. I feel like he needed to get that out of his system so he could suddenly make good films again. Because everything post that, everything since he shut the fuck up, yes, it's been much better. When he was talking about that, he was doing all these like really wanky films for the most part, and now that he got that out of his system, was a bit of a laughing stock for a while, then went quiet. He's come back and has quietly been like, I'm going to save cinema.
I think he's also like making his films he wants to make now. I think he went through a phase of just being Tom Cruise in other people's films, and that's when he was doing this shit. Yeah. They were like, oh, we got Tom Cruise in this film, let's make it an action film around Tom Cruise. Well, and I think now maybe he's one of the few people that's actually producing his own film. And like now you see like, oh, Top Gun, he's done that now. Mission Impossible, it's all him.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, okay, he's actually doing what he wants to do in the way he wants to do it, rather than someone telling him what to do.
Well, that goes into what you were saying, Paul, as well. It's like that there was that period where you weren't that excited about a Mission Impossible film, but now you are.
Yeah, for sure.
That's that thing of like just Tom Cruise just being in a Mission Impossible film was like, well, I'm just in it, but I'm not really committed to it. Whereas now he is.
Yeah. There's the work's been put in to this film, like the stunt work and stuff that you're kind of going to enjoy. You're going to enjoy it just for the spectacle.
Yeah. I will watch it. See, the thing is, I feel like that Fallout caught me because I can't remember in what capacity I saw it, but I was like, oh wow, this is actually really good. But I hadn't seen any of the others.
I think no one watched it. No one watched Mission Impossible for a while, and everyone was like, "You need to go see this one because it's actually pretty good."
Yeah, it's because he fucked his ankle So everyone was like, "Oh, did you hear he fucked his uncle?"
Yeah,
and everyone was like, "Look, I've got to go and see it." And then they're like, "Oh, it's actually good as well." I don't know. If the trouble is, if I continue watching these newer ones, I'm joining the story like having not seen 6 or 7, and I don't really want to watch those 6 or 7 because
You don't
I know
need
they're not.
to, do you?
Nah, you don't need to.
Suppose not. Well, there you go.
There
And
you
that
go.
was sorry. That was what? That's an 8 out of 10, Paul.
This is number 8, yes, and it's a 8 out of 10.
Very good. Dear Adam.
Next up, for me, at number 8 is probably a film you haven't seen because of Hollywood being dicks about stuff. It is Bike Riders, or The Bike Riders.
Yeah, you are one of the rare individuals.
I know. I literally just looked on it now, and 2,000 people have seen Big Shark, and 3,000 people have seen The Bike Riders on Letterboxd. You're like,
well, go on then, special one. Tell us about it.
It's great. It's good. It's very well done. I mean, I don't get why. Like, who is it? Fox dropped it, didn't they?
Wasn't it Disney? Well, yeah, Fox, but Disney, yeah.
Yeah, they dropped it because they didn't think it was going to sell. I mean, it's like a fucking motorbike film with Tom Hardy in it, who's not really been in anything for ages. Austin Butler and Michael Shannon, like.
In what world do you drop
strange.
that?
Yeah, yeah, it's great. It's very well done. It's very well told. Very well played out.
So remind us, Adam, how would it compare? Because obviously you only really know that it's about bikers. How does it compare to like something like Sons of Anarchy? Is it in that kind of vein, or is it a different kind of story?
It's not as. It's more of like this evolution of a biker gang from the beginning of when they were doing it for fun, and then suddenly, like, biker gangs realised they could get away with stuff, and people started realising what the bad boy attitude was and started joining it for the wrong reason. And it goes through like, the rise and fall of a biker gang with what's her name? What's the wife in it?
Oh, Jodie Comer.
She's fantastic in it. So it's like someone interviewing her, she was basically in a relationship with Austin Butler, character in the film, and like what he meant to him and all of this, and but yeah, it's not quite like the chaos of Sons of Anarchy. It's bit more, and it's set in like the 60s as well, I want to say.
Yeah, I would imagine so, or maybe even the 50s.
Yeah, it's kind of like how it went from a lads club into like criminal activities, into all of this. But I hope it gets picked up and people can see it, because I imagine it will at some point. I can't imagine.
It's got a proposed release date, I think, in the UK anyway, of like June. So it must have been picked up by someone by now, I think, if they're saying that.
Yeah. And they might have realised maybe it's not going to do that well at the Oscars this year. Push it on to next year or something like that.
And that fucking director, I love him. Jeff Nichols.
Yeah.
He did that Take Shelter, which is so good.
And Mud, was it as well he did?
Mud was very good. Midnight Special was very good. Haven't seen Shotgun Stories. That's the other Michael Shannon one, but need to see that. Take Shelter was so good. Fuck. Nice. Well, you are the rare person who has seen that, Adam. So
Lucky boy.
I hope you feel very privileged. The funny thing will be when it comes out again, I reckon it will be a slightly different edit, because I reckon in all this time the filmmakers might go back to it and go, all right, let's play around with this, that and the other.
Also, it doesn't,
maybe,
when it goes on, it doesn't, I don't mean, I think that's a film festival thing, they don't come with a BFFC rating or whatever it's called, do they? So whether they're trying to now market it at a different range or something like that, they might.
Yeah, maybe. Well, very good. Bike Riders, and that's an 8 out of 10, is it?
Yes.
Good stuff.
Very good.
All right, my 8, and this is also an 8, and it's already been on Adam's list, is the documentary Sharksploitation. Very good watch, Paul. I think you would love it. It is.
Yeah, I need to watch it.
A real good documentary, all about all the history of shark movies from before Jaws, when Jaws happened, and everything that came after Jaws. And it's just told with a great amount of love. Like, there's a lot of silliness in it, because they show clips from all of the silly, stupid films that got released, and that's the perfect way to see those things, so you don't have to suffer through 90 minutes of it. But it's clever because they talk about where the drive and desire came from to tell those stories, like what caused the spike in shark interest all of a sudden, and
also
why
the effect it has on sharks. So like the population, like after Jaws, people were killing them like because they were so scared of them, and now suddenly people are like films that come out now about conservation of sharks, and now people appreciate sharks and want to look after them.
Yeah,
There's a lot of scientists in it as well.
Peter Benchley, the author of Jaws, set up after the film Jaws came out, and he saw people's response to them. He set up this. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like a conservation charity with his wife for the preservation of sharks. And it's like, that's a great way of like offsetting what you did.
And then they found a nude shark, didn't they? And they named it after him.
That's right, they did. They named it Bench something.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And it is good, and it's great that what you get to see is ultimately that people love the shark film because it's thrilling, it's scary, but at the same time it creates the adrenaline rush of something like a roller coaster, just like horror films do anyway. But particularly with sharks, it's like most people who are making these shark films don't hate sharks. They're fascinated by sharks. They love the shark. They're tantalized by the shark, and it's played for an audience who want to get this adrenaline rush and feel alive like anyone does on a roller coaster. Nobody goes on a roller coaster because they want to die. They go on a roller coaster because they want to feel what it's like to be at risk. Not me personally. They terrify me, roller coasters. But it's a very, very good documentary.
They go on to like talk about like the rise of B movies in general towards the end, and like all the monster films versus monster films, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and like how
whole genre was kind of born.
Six-headed shark, squid versus great white, etc., whatnot. And it's very, very informative, very cool behind-the-scenes look at it all, from like high-profile people who were involved in the films through to like these indie filmmakers. Yeah, it's a great watch. 8 out of 10.
That's cool. Definitely got to watch that. Lovely.
Back to
you
7.
want my number 7?
Yeah.
This might be appearing. It's Saw X.
I got it higher, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Over to Adam.
Number 7 for me is one that Ben mentioned, is Rye Lane.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Let's talk about it.
It's just
Tell me about it.
It's just a lovely little romance film set about, they meet on the same day, don't they?
Yes.
Two people who basically, they've just gone through breakups together, they meet. And what do they just like, they're trying to restore each other's faith in romance.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, they're kids, really. They're like early 20s, early 20s. They're in Peckham, 2 black youths. It's uniquely South London as a film as well. And that's why I liked it. However, it has
everything.
It is, Adam, but you also know that it has been given this sort of glossy sheen over it to make it look so much better than it's ever looked. Peckham has never looked as good as it looked in this film.
I don't imagine, it's not, the glossy sheen isn't turning the camera away from everything. It still films everything, but puts it puts the happiness on it, and it's almost how people probably look at their own town with that glow on it, where people who might not be from there don't look at it in that same way.
That's right. Yeah.
It's not making out to be anything it's not. It's just making it look brighter and colourful. And
and the boy is particularly heartbroken, and the girl that she's split up and she's feeling things, but she's not like desperately sad like the boy is. And they just go on this journey through Peckham, all these locations in Peckham like the Morleys and whatnot, and they set these scenes up, and it's cute, it's heartwarming, it's funny, it's not incredible.
It's just nice. It's just a nice warming film.
It is a nice warming film. It is.
And also, it's nice.
I recommend it.
Obviously, I don't know how it was made, but like, I don't think it was made with a lot of money at all and a lot of resources. It's very much
doesn't feel it. You know what it feels like? It feels like the Before Sunrise type films.
Yeah, and that kind of
Rain Allen Miller was the director, British female director. Her first film. She must have grown up in South London because there's too much love and care put into it to not be from a South Londoner. It's on Disney, Paul. So
you love London guys, don't you?
Yeah, of course, mate.
That's why you love this film.
Yeah, Paul. The truth is, Paul will not like this film, will he? Yeah, that is the truth.
I don't know. I think he will. I think you'll enjoy the story. I don't think you won't. The heart of this film is probably where it's set more than the actual story.
How much of this is right? You going? I'll walk down that street. 8 out of 10.
Shitloads of it.
I don't even know Peckham that well, and yeah.
Yeah. It's no, it's good. It is good. It is, but I do feel like I'm honest. It's only a 7 out of 10 for me. It is a little too cute for its own good.
Right.
Like the characters are a little too. They always just know the right thing to say in a certain situation, and someone always just does the right thing at the right time. So it is all a little glossy. Basically, it's the Ted Lasso Peckham.
Yeah.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah.
Even Ben's been won round by Ted Lasso a little bit.
Paul, Ted Lasso was a delight. Finished it all. Once you get past a couple episodes and you completely accept that
Everybody
it is this
needs
fantasy,
a little bit of
it's
Ted
great.
Lasso in
No,
their lives.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
But Paul, you won't, because it ultimately it's football all the way as well. That is the other thing. I think
I'm
you do
not
have to have
gonna
a
like
bit
it.
of a passing interest in football. But
I hated all
Yeah.
the acting in it.
Everyone
Not gonna
needs
watch
a
it.
Ted Lasso in their life in some way.
well, if just
Ultimate
anyway,
escapism, I think.
yeah. But Rye Lane, I would give it another watch as well. It's not the kind of film that it's one and done. It was sweet. It was nice. I liked it.
Right. On to you then, Ben.
Oh yeah, what was that? Number 7?
7.
Okay. This may feature higher up for one of you. I have The Killer.
Oh, this was lower for me. I think you said it was.
Paul?
I said I had it at number 9. You said it was further up.
Oh fuck! I'm the one who rates The Killer the highest. Jesus. Okay. Well, we only watched it like a day or so before Christmas, I think. Based on your recommendation, Paul, not on yours, Adam. And yeah, 8 out of 10. Really.
I really want to get round to
great.
watching this.
It's great, right?
I think being primed that it was not the kind of film that you might think it might be ahead of time helped, so that I wasn't expecting a 7 style film.
Yeah.
And it's like the quiet meditation on what it is to be this man was fascinating.
That's
It
the
reminded me,
greatness
yeah, it reminded me a lot of A History of Violence in some ways, where it's like the capacity of man to have this thing just below the surface and how he deals with this violence. And what I loved was that he had this code that he kept telling you about all the way through. And then there is this point where you're like, okay, but you aren't, this code you're talking about, you aren't actually fulfilling it yourself at all. And you aren't this anomaly that you think you are. You're actually one of us.
It seems like you want to break away from it. It's like,
Yeah, but
you're
you
telling us
can't.
one thing but doing the other thing.
Yeah. And I thought it was good. I thought it was nice that it was broken up into different chapters. I'm not sure that I'm convinced that this and Mank are good enough reasons for Fincher to have dropped making that incredible television show.
I mean,
but
nothing's going to be worth him dropping that, in my opinion, for a long time.
that was his best work of the 21st century, so it's a shame. But it is, I did think it was like John Wick, but just thoughtful.
In between the fight scenes.
Yeah.
Well,
If John Wick
yeah.
wasn't being rushed around and beaten up every 2 seconds.
And I said it, the key thing in it, which made it stick out like a sore thumb, which I didn't really enjoy, is the moment where he goes and he tackles the guy who came to his home,
The Don
and
guy.
they have this big fight. Yeah, they have this big fight in the house for like 5 to 10 minutes, and it's like, this feels like this bit should be in a John Wick film. In a John Wick film, it's believable because you believe the environment. But in this film, where we've spent so much time being thoughtful and looking at realistic process and whatnot, this kind of was a bit jarring. So I would have preferred it if it had all been more methodical, more realistic. Let's hear the narration. Let's hear the specifics of it, rather than that. You know.
Yeah, I think that's. I can also accept it though, because it's like you go through all the methodical nature of it all and seeing him go to the airport, go on the plane, go and do this.
Yeah.
Wait for ages in a hotel and wait for someone to walk into the right building at the right time.
Yeah.
And then at one point, oh yeah, this is the action bit, but you had to go through all that other stuff. It's not just going to happen all the time like that. You
Yeah,
gotta do a lot of waiting around.
I would have liked the action bit to have been a bit dirtier, so it felt more realistic. So,
Yeah, I
like
can see
a
that.
bit more of a fight where, like you've said recently on Batman, where you can feel him getting hit while he's doing that stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it feels realistic rather than people waiting their turn and waiting for choreographed moves. It did feel like choreographed moves, but regardless, it was a great film. Overall,
Absolutely.
thoughtful, one of Fincher's best of the 21st century. I said at the time I thought it was his best of the 21st century, but I'm not sure. I have to rethink. It feels like on the level with Zodiac for me.
I think
And I
Zodiac's
did like
different.
I like the end.
Zodiac's. I don't know. They're very hard films to compare.
Only because it's Fincher. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
in terms of Fincher film about men, and don't forget Fincher's films love to be about men who are in their own heads, dealing with their own darkness. That's
In their
generally
own
what
way.
a Fincher film is, in their own way. They're normally always pretty selfish as well,
But
but very, very good. What did you make? I don't think this is a spoiler. I really don't think so. If you haven't heard it, people, don't worry about it. But what did you think about the shot at the very end where he twitches?
He twitches
where's that?
That's the last
in
shot
the
of the
deck
film.
in the deck chair.
Yeah, he twitches and then it cuts to black. He has an eye twitch.
Oh, I didn't know. I
Don't
didn't
know.
even see it.
Okay.
Didn't even see it.
I just don't think the opening of that film is the best part of the film. That opening 20 minutes leading up.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
That is, if that was in some ways, you just leave that film there. Just make that short film and move on.
And that, again, that's the beauty, is everything that he was doing in those opening 20 minutes and what ended up happening, he is facing the repercussions of that.
Yeah.
And what is happening to him is exactly what he did in that situation. Like, there are no villains in that world. They're all just doing that as a job. It's never personal. This is what they have to do to get by. So the people, when he's seeking vengeance, the people he's killing, they're
Just
not
accept
the
it.
people. Yeah, it's like, well, this is the world, and
You're
he's
coming
not
for me,
actually
I'm
getting
coming for you.
satisfaction. He's getting no satisfaction from it because they're not responsible. And when he finally, this is veering into spoiler territory, so I won't say it, but there's a moment where someone you could say is mostly responsible for it. He has a confrontation with that person, and then he makes a choice,
And
and that
leaves.
choice is because you understand that,
He's not in the game.
yeah, it's not personal.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a
Yeah.
lot to read into in the film, a lot to discuss.
I definitely want to rewatch it. I just want to give it a little
watch that
gap
last film.
between.
Watch the last scene. Just go and watch the last scene and watch the twitch. It's a specific choice to include it based on what he's
I
just
might, yeah.
said, and that's why I have my view on what his psyche is actually about.
Okay, I'll go back and watch it. Right, yes, my number 6. No one's going to have this on the list, and it's just going to be me, and that is Shazam: Fury of the Gods.
I've got it higher
It's
up.
a 9 out of
I've got
10.
it higher up.
I'm not even going to go with that because I know you won't, and if you did, I'll be very surprised. We've all watched the first one. We
have.
I was even disappointed in the first one. It kind of goes to a childish audience. It doesn't really lean into any really adult humor. But this one by far beats it. It is so much fun. It's so funny. The story's exhilarating. And I went with Scott, went to the preview screening. Could have helped my enjoyment. Probably did. But it was an amazing time. Such a great film. And you know me, it's DC. When film and DC collide, it is just my bread and butter. It's what I'm all about.
That is your bread and butter, isn't it?
Yeah, and I had a wonderful time with this film. Do you want to ask anything about it?
No.
It's a DC film.
It's a DC film.
Does it connect in any way to anything that is ongoing currently with DC, or is it at the end of a phase or something?
It's kind of its own standalone thing. It's a direct sequel to the first one.
So it's not connected to The Flash?
No, not at all.
Deary me.
Yes. Is that all you want to ask about it?
I don't know
We're gonna-
what to say about it, mate.
You don't need to say anything. We could just move on to the next one.
I don't know what to say about it.
I know you and I don't really care. So let's move on.
Don't care. I just don't. I don't know enough about it. I can't even really remember the detail of the first Shazam. To be honest with you, I know that the guy has been cancelled. I believe. I think he's cancelled? He's a big old. What's the name? Zachary something. What's his name?
Zachary Levy.
I believe he said something very either Republican or anti-vax. That's why.
Oh, I think he might have said anti-vax something.
He's publicly been anti-vax. That's why. Actor Zachary Levi has been met with a strong reaction online after he tweeted that he agrees pharmaceutical giant Pfizer is a real danger. And I can't read the rest of the article. The Shazam actor has a long history.
Haven't Pfizer actually got loads of court cases against him now?
Probably all pharmaceutical companies.
So he's kind of correct.
But he's anti-vax rather than anti-Pfizer.
I know. Anyway, that's nothing to do with Shazam.
Ask your doctor. Oh my God, he's written a fucking essay. Okay, here we go. I am no fan or supporter of Trump, and I find his behaviour to be vulgar, callous, narcissistic, and lacking empathy. And while I'm not a conservative, I know many who backed 45, that's Trump, not because they liked him, but because he was the only candidate they felt cared about their needs. I don't, it's just typical Hollywood idiot. They're all Hollywood idiots right now. So.
Yeah, people just love to say their side.
I think it's that whole thing. If you give someone a platform for long enough to keep talking every day of their life, they're going to say something stupid and ridiculous that you don't agree with.
Absolutely. Anyway, don't bother watching Shazam. You won't like it.
No,
Anyway.
I don't think so, but glad you enjoyed it, Paul.
I've got my number 6, and I think it's a film that both of you would actually really like.
Okay.
And it's Godzilla -1.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I'm so interested.
It's great. It's Godzilla.
What are you rating this now?
This is 9 out of 10. This is my first 9 out of 10. I should have said that at the beginning. Godzilla's great in it. He's fucking awesome. And I just love it. Huh?
He's doing loads of wisecracks and like...
Yeah, he's just fucking cool. He's just like, you just want to hang out with him. But it's like straight from the off. You're thrown straight in there. Godzilla's straight in there doing it. There's no messing around from this. It's set in Japan. It's Japanese. It's all Japanese. It's done by the original
that's what appealed to me, because I did not know that.
It's like a 70-year It's like a 70-year anniversary film of the first Godzilla, I think.
Do you know what? They should have absolutely marketed it as its own beast, as opposed to...
It's nothing to do with the American... It's just...
That's why I avoided it. I thought it was connected to them.
The most refreshing thing about this film is the story that's happening around Godzilla. So, but it's like, it goes into something quite interesting. So it's a pilot from Japan in the end of the Second World War, and he comes back to Japan afterwards. He's been away on a little island, and he comes back. He sees Godzilla, and like he comes back, and because he
sunglasses on,
and because he's a kamikaze pilot, everyone is like, "Why
Godzilla was?"
He makes a good fucking kamikaze.
That's
pilot.
a fucking massive plane.
Because he's a kamikaze pilot, everyone's like, "Why are you alive? Why?" They're the main guy in the film.
Okay, Godzilla.
Yeah. Anyway, everyone's like, "Why are you still alive? You should have risked
about
your
a guy
life
called Godzilla
to defend Japan."
Yes.
So there's loads of stuff that's being dealt with in that way. And then he's just basically a normal guy at the end of the day. It's like normal people against him. It's not the American army turning up. It's not all of that. It's just, but like, it's really well done. And also, the thing I found quite interesting.
Sounds amazing.
The thing I found quite interesting about it is the way that the Godzilla CGI is. I think it's very authentic. It's like, he looks modern. He looks fake. He sits in with it. But the way he moves, it feels quite robotic still. And
Excellent.
It's quite stompy, and it's quite almost like they've had the stop motion as it was done before in a certain way with the CGI, and it kind of makes it feel. Yeah. Also, there is this film. Like, if you told me the film was made 15 years ago, it feels like that way in some ways. It's aged in a certain way, and certain decisions. It's all stupid, but it's
now,
great.
Adam, does this benefit from the big screen?
I would say
Or
if you
you can
can
watch
go
it at
see it
home
on the
and
big
enjoy it.
screen, go see it on the big screen. Just
Here's
because of
something
like, the
exciting.
sound. And
I feel like this. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Carry on. No, you say it.
No, sorry.
I
It
just
was,
say,
it was
'cause
just. It was related to what I
the
was
sound
asking
and the
you.
visuals and everything like that. It is obviously heightened on the big screen. But yeah, if you don't see it on there, I'd still say recommend seeing it.
I'm super
There is a
excited to see it.
feature. I don't know if it's been on Letterboxd for a while. This is the first time that I've clocked it. There's a feature now. I've just gone on
Yeah, you
Godzilla
can
minus
do watch,
one.
and it tells you where it's been screened.
Yeah, showtimes and
They
tickets.
They did it last week. I think they added it on there.
It's excellent. I can
Yeah.
see everywhere that it's playing.
Yeah, it's great.
Near me today.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And the times.
Yeah.
That is a super cool addition.
The only thing that's annoying is there's 2 cinemas near me that are independent cinemas. Like
And they don't have 'em.
They're not on there because they've only. But I'd imagine they've only had it for a week. They'll add it.
You know
eventually.
what? That these don't even say the name of the cinema. It just says the location. Then when I click on it, I think they're either Odeons or Views. But even still, that's
Mine
good.
says like Picture House or say Prince Charles comes up quite a bit for certain films. But
Prince
yeah.
Charles.
But yeah, it's great. It's very well done. It's a very refreshing take on it. Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's just good. And also, apparently, it only cost them £12 million to make it. And when you watch this film, you're like, that is impressive considering the amount of money that Hollywood would have spunked at it when they spunked it at Godzilla versus Kong and all of these new ones that they're making, like King of Monsters and stuff. You're like, it's just shits all over them. It just makes them all look amateur. This is like, I don't know. It's just not Hollywood about it. That's kind of what's refreshing.
Well, awesome.
And you can have it as one of
I'm
your foreign
bang up for
films,
that.
Ben.
Exactly. Perfect.
Wiki Wiki Wild Wild West.
Wiki. Well, it's me, is it? What are we on? Number 6? I've forgotten.
Yes.
Was that a 8, Adam, or a 9?
That
Sorry.
was a 9.
Oh, lovely.
First of my 9s.
Well, my number 6 is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, which I was
Nice.
absolutely delighted by because it's the
Wow.
kind of film that you would think that I would be a bit of a twat about and go, "Ooh, stupid, this, that, and the other," but I fucking loved it. I know that it's not original because it's based on a board game, but I just thought it was cool to see an original fantasy adventure action film that was very funny. There was a lot of action that was
Doesn't
quite
take itself
engaging
too
to watch.
seriously.
Doesn't take itself seriously. They're having a ball. The CGI is pretty fucking good in it, and it works given the silliness of the whole story. It's all great performances. Hugh Grant is great in it. Chris Pine is great in it. All the supporting actors and actresses are great in it. Even bloody Bradley Cooper as a tiny little man in a very big chair. And yeah, it's a ball. It's great fun. And I said it at the time, it's the kind of film that if they were like, there's a sequel, I'd be like, awesome, good, do it, because it deserves one. But if there isn't one, then this film is perfectly fine because you can
There'll
rewatch this one
100% be a sequel.
over
It's
time.
done pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they judge how well it did because I think it went on streaming pretty quick, but onto Paramount. But it was very much enjoyable. Paul, you would like it. You would definitely like
I'm
it.
meaning to watch it.
Chris Pine increasingly impresses me the more I see him. Very much enjoy it, even though his face is turning into God knows what. Between him and Zac Efron, Jesus, stop it, boys. Stop what you're
Zac
doing.
Efron had a
face
an
infection,
accident.
didn't he?
Yeah.
The facial accident was he walked into a cosmetic surgery hospital, fell over, and they injected him up.
He had I think he had almost like a semi-stroke or something. No, he had something wrong with the muscles in his face, which is why
Stop trying to make me feel bad. This is not true. I don't believe you.
he had something wrong with him, and that's why he
I
got.
thought he had a car crash.
Right. Zac Efron face. Was a result of a shattered jaw after he smashed his chin on a granite fountain
There you go.
and sparked plastic surgery rumours. I would just say this much. That's also what I would say if I went in for plastic surgery and I didn't like the look. Oh, I smashed my face off a fountain, unfortunately. Sorry, Zach, I ain't buying it. And Chris, I don't even want to know what your excuse is, Chris, but don't come at me with it. But yeah, it's good. It's very fun. Michelle Rodriguez is in it, and I don't normally like her in films. I think she can be quite grating, but she's very good in this. The young
She spent
kids
too
who are
long in the
it.
Fast and Furious franchise to be.
Well, see, I never watched those. Hugh Grant is Boris Johnson in it, which is brilliant as well. He's basically playing Boris Johnson.
You know what I like? Hugh Grant is lent very well into being, in Wonka as well, being the Oompa Loompa. He's lent into that whole weird little side character being quite funny and a bit posh and weird.
Do you know,
quite well.
Have you heard Hugh Grant talking about Wonka, though? He's like, it was stupid, I did it for money.
Oh, yeah, of course.
What a ridiculous film. And the director's like, well, I don't really know why he's saying that because, he had a choice. And Hugh Grant's like, I don't care.
I had no choice. I had a mortgage to pay.
Yeah. So hard recommend, Paul. Watch that. You would like it. You would like it. Fun for all the
I
family.
think it's on Sky Movies as well, Paul, at the moment.
Wiki.
I think it's even safe to watch with Woody. I think it's like a 12. I don't remember anything in there being...
I can only imagine it's like mild.
He didn't have the attention span anyway.
Yeah. I mean, there are a couple of scary things. Lots of funny stuff anyway, man. Lots of funny stuff. Good film. Good film. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Wicked.
So that is us at the halfway point, boys.
Yes, indeed. Should we give some insight into what other people's favourite films are?
Let's hear what the patrons... This is their favourite film of 2023, is it?
This is their favourite film of 2023, yes.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so first of all, we got Julio. He's going to tell us what his favourite film is.
Hey, Filmbusters. This is Julio from The Contrarians pitching in to your 2023 wrap-up. I guess you want to know my favorite 2023 movie, and honestly, I haven't seen that many yet. I usually do my big catch-up during award season, but I did catch most of the big ones, Oppenheimer, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, and so on, but none of those would be my favorite, even though I enjoyed those to various degrees. If I'm going to pick a favorite, it's between two, and my runner-up would be Bottoms, which is a movie not many people have seen, I think, or at least not as many as they should. It's a very funny comedy, very clever, I thought. I almost wanted to give it to that one just to give it a little more exposure, but instead I'm naming it as my runner-up. My favorite instead is going to be the latest Wes Anderson, Asteroid City, which was just wonderful. 5 stars. I think I logged it as 4.5. The more I think about it, the more I like it. It's a great movie. It's everything you want from Wes Anderson. Of course, I don't think you guys are very into him, so I don't know. I don't know that this is the movie that would win you over, but I loved it. It's easily my favorite of his, and he's had a great year with all those Roald Dahl shorts on Netflix. But Asteroid City is definitely the highest point for me in his career, and I can't wait to rewatch it. So and I don't know, I'll be curious if at least one of you tries it and at least appreciates what it's going for. But that's my pick for favorite movie I've seen in 2023.
What a nutcase. Wes Anderson. I don't know, man. I keep giving him a try and he fails every time.
I just can't. I've just given up on him.
Well, but hang on. This is not entirely true, is it? Because you boys very much enjoyed Isle of Dogs. I very much enjoyed
Fantastic
Grand
Mr.
Budapest
Fox.
Hotel. Fantastic Mr. Fox. So they are out there.
Yes.
But I know
More
you're
often
looking
than
at
not.
this one. It's not going to be that one.
But it's Julio's best film of the year. That's got to count for something. We don't like Wes, but we like
I will
Julio.
give it a go, just for Julio.
I've added it to the watch list just now, just because Julio said that. So, you know, I will judge it. Harshly, probably, but I will judge it when I watch
We'll
it.
give it a fair go.
But
We'll see.
interestingly, I did hear some talk, but not much to know what it was about a few months ago about this film called Bottoms. So it says, a movie about empowering women, in brackets, the hot ones. PJ and Josie start a fight club as a way to lose their virginities to cheerleaders. The fight club gains traction, and soon the most popular girls in school are beating each other up in the name of self-defense, but the pair find themselves in over their heads and in need of a way out before their plan is exposed. I'm a little bit confused.
About
to
what
be
it's
honest.
about.
But that might be because I'm just assuming PJ and Josie are boys wanting to lose their virginities to cheerleaders. But
I imagine so, yeah.
Yes, but maybe it's not. Anyway, okay, I've added that one to the watch list too. That one
Another
sounds
big recommend.
infinitely more interesting than Asteroid City, though.
Yes, and absolutely.
But thanks,
Definitely
Julio.
put that on the list. Thank you, Julio. Do you want to hear another one?
Yeah, let's have another one from someone.
Hey, Hey, film busting boys, it's Sean Panda Nixon here. My favourite film of 2023 is, well, it's a superhero film. It would have to be Across the Spider-Verse. I mean, it's just, the animation's amazing, the story's great. I'm invested in Miles Morales' story, I love the music, I just love it. I love it, okay? But yeah, I mean, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful time, and I'm looking forward to seeing what 2024 brings for the film busting community. It's pretty amazing being part of this whole patron thing, so yeah. Stay classy, San Diego. I really wish I didn't say that at the end.
Hey friends and Filmbuster lovers, it's your girl Katie
and OT
from the For Your Reference podcast, and we want to start off by saying love and splooshes to the Filmbuster boys for an epic 2023, and thank you for allowing us to join in on our favorite watches. OT, you want to kick us off for your favorite release 2023 film?
It has to be Laugh of Pi, the play.
Ooh.
It was the most visually stunning experience that I've seen. And not only does it get to expand the story, but the performance alone just stood out to me so much. It's one of the things that I want to rewatch multiple times. I think about it all the time as well.
I'm getting a bit jealous, OT.
Yes, you should be, because it's that good.
Our favorite Playboy, hey? My favorite 2023 watch is Quantum Cowboys. It is every sort of texture in regards to filmmaking. It leaps all bounds of whatever sort of boundary you might have for filmmaking. It is textural. It is layered. It is a lot of fun that it's the same sort of thing of, diving in and, as the boys would say, Baccarat blind, just going in and really enjoying a film that you never really thought was possible to make. So gorgeous, delicious. Well, we'll hand it over back to the best and beloved boys at Filmbusters. Thank you so much. And here's to another epic year, 2024.
Scott,
help me. I'm gonna die. Bye.
See ya.
Quantum Cowboy.
Never heard of it.
Let's take a look here. Quantum Cowboy is two hapless drifters. Oh, it's Scarecrow. Frank and Bruno team up with Lindy to recover her land and trek across 1870s southern Arizona to find an elusive frontier musician. The complex quantum time theory is blended with philosophical musings about art as the way we understand our history and memories, with gunfights, horses, dance halls, cacti, and saloons. Lily Gladstone, David Arquette.
Colour me intrigued.
Colour me all the way intrigued. Unfortunately, it is not available to watch anywhere on any of my streaming services. It's also not in the cinema, so you would have to invest in physical media if you wanted to partake at this particular time.
Well, I'm putting it on the watch list anyway.
So am I. I do it regardless. And
then Life of Pi.
Life of Pi, the play. Interesting. I'm guessing it is. I would like to see the play. It's in London sometimes. I don't know if it's still on there.
I think it's still on there.
The film's great.
Yeah,
the film is when me and Jenny moved into this place. It was the first film that we watched when we had all our boxes all around us and a little futon sofa. We chucked it on. So this is a beautiful, beautiful story.
It's got that puppetry tiger in the play.
In the play, that's right. Yeah.
It's a real tiger
like
in the film.
Warhorse.
National Theatre Live, Life of Pi. Is that the one, OT?
Yes, 2023.
2023. Yes, of course. I'll add it to the watch list, but again...
Is there a clip of OT saying yes, and you can just insert OT saying yes to Ben's?
Just insert the clip of him going, That Life of Pi lion looks cool in the play.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Looking at it at the moment. It looks kind of like when they did Warhorse. Tiger, sorry. Yeah.
Wicked.
Is it a tiger? What do they call that tiger? Mr. Richard Parker. That's it's Richard Parker.
Oh yeah, I remember
Excellent.
that now.
And it's great. I remember for the film, not to get into it, but I remember the film, the final like little monologue by him, and it's kind of like the whole thing is all about belief. It's about do you believe or not?
Yeah.
You can have it both. You have it both ways. You either believe that this happened, or you believe this is what happened. And the reality is, as someone who has no faith, when you get to the end of that movie, you want to believe the version which correlates with religion, though. That's the beauty of it. It's like you want to believe that version. But if you want your truth, if you want your glib, I don't want religion in my life view, then here's the truth, and it's horrible. Are you happy with that, or would you rather have this?
Do you believe in life after love?
I could feel something inside me say, but I really don't think it's strong enough. No.
No. Do you believe?
Well, that was good.
Very good. Do you want to hear one more?
Yeah, why not? Should we have them all? Let's have them all.
One more from Jamie Russell, and he says, "It has not been a good year for me, nearly 50% down on films consumed, but The Killer. Back to something close to early Fincher for me, my favourite since Zodiac." Well, we've just spoken about that, Jamie, and we very much like it too.
There you go. And he mentioned Zodiac as well. That's the only other thing I can think from the 21st century that matches with it.
Yeah. What a film. Great film. Good shout, Jamie. Right, should we move on to our number fives?
Yeah.
So, my number 5 film, it's another one that you probably... Adam, you might like it because you were into these films at one time or another. It's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's the last in the trilogy, and it's the best of the trilogy. It's I laughed, I cried. It's got a great storyline about pretty much animal abuse and like animal testing, and it is, some bits are very hard to watch, and some things are very cute, but it's a lovely little story just about this family and them finally saying goodbye to each other at the end, pretty much, and it's just a wonderful end to this Guardians of the Galaxy as we know it. Whether or not it comes back or not, I don't know, but it was a wonderful journey and it ended just right. 9 out of 10.
I'm just done with those kind of films, in my opinion.
I know, that's why I know you guys don't care.
Infinity War was like a good way just to finish it all off.
It's like the new Coke. It'll be around forever.
Of course.
It'll be around forever.
Although it seems pretty... It's dead on its... What's the word? What's the saying? It's dead on its heels?
Knees?
Dead in the water? Dead on arrival?
I don't know. It's one of those things at the moment, Marvel. It's not doing very good.
It's dead.
It's dead. It, like even like Aquaman or whatever is out at the moment. Is it Aquaman that's out at the moment?
Are you trying to say that's a Marvel film?
No, I'm just saying it's those superhero films in general. I think is just dead on their feet. I haven't seen anyone think it's been out for like 2 weeks and it's ready on like one screening a week. I don't think anyone's going to see them.
Well, it's because it's kind of the whole shake-up of DC. I don't think anyone's like interested because they know it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have less tolerance for the Guardians of the Galaxy ones because of Pratt.
Yes, of course.
He's the bad Chris.
Pine's the good one with the messed
Pine's
up face.
the good. Yeah. All right. Well, I've got nothing to say on that.
You can swiftly move on.
I'll swiftly move on. Adam?
Yeah, sorry, I've dropped my list.
Dropped it. It's on a screen.
Well, I've got it. I'll put my phone down. Number 5 for me is a film that might be up on higher on Ben's list. I can imagine it is, actually. It's Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, we'll stick a pin in that.
Very good.
We'll stick a pin in that. Moving on to my number 5. Paul and I spoke at length about this. Adam, I don't even know if you've seen it yet. I don't think you have. Is Saw X.
I haven't, no.
Saw X. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
There's a lot of detractors out there, but just like with me with Halloween Kills and the Halloween franchise, it's the kind of thing, if you love the franchise and you've been there through it all, something like Saw X is a joy. It's great.
It's loyal to the fans. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's part of the machinery. It's not for a new audience, really. Maybe it'll have picked up a few new fans, but I doubt it. It's made for those, as all the Saw films always were. It's made for the fans. And if you're not a fan, if it starts losing you, you're never going to like them. But if you're a fan of everything that came before, to one extent or another, You're going to love this, and we did love it. And we had a very good conversation. For those who aren't patrons, go and sign up to be patrons and hear our take on the entire Saw franchise. But I think the Saw X episode was for everyone, wasn't it?
Yeah, Saw X was for everyone, yeah.
Yeah, get out there. There's a few
Get out there and
surprises.
listen.
Although, you get out there and listen. I never watched the trailer for it, Paul. And
Neither did I.
the other day, it played while I was watching something else. It played, and they spoil the credit scene by playing the audio in the trailer. So you hear the line. I mean, this is not a spoiler. So you hear the line, "You chose to," I call that epic bad luck. They play that in the trailer.
Oh, man.
And if you know anything about the films, you will know who says that.
Yeah.
So that would have killed that for us if we'd seen the trailer in advance.
So
We'd have been
annoying.
waiting for that.
Man, don't watch trailers.
There you go.
That's
Saw X.
that's the thing to do. Wonderful. Oh, on to my number 4. We're already here.
Yep.
None of you have seen this, and it was a big surprise. Zoe the other day was like, "Oh, put this on. Julia Roberts is in it," and I was like, "Okay, go on then. I'm not going to expect anything." It's a bloody 9 out of 10. It's Leave the World Behind, and
You
it is
are,
on Netflix.
again, the anomaly on Letterboxd. You are the one who gives this the highest out of everyone that I follow.
Hey, I told someone from work to watch it, and he also said that was amazing.
I
don't
am
doubt
quite
you.
interested in it. I don't know when I'll watch it, but
Do you know the one thing that puts me off
Go
is
on.
the runtime. I
It's
feel
like
like
two
if
and a half
it was
hours,
2
isn't it?
hours or under, we would have watched it by now. But 2 hours 20 is like,
See, I've got a very I've got 2 8s, a 9, a 4, and a 7 on my letterbox. So it's very diverse. I think it's you either go but you don't. But it's one of those ones of Baccarat blind.
What's it called again?
Absolutely, Leave the World Behind.
yeah. I mean, great cast.
Yeah, it's got a great cast, and it's one of those ones where the plot is so like masked that you don't really know what's going on, and and you don't know until about 5 minutes to the end. And
Right.
the whole time, and it keeps you wrapped up in this mystery, and it's always tense. This intensity is there throughout the whole thing, and constantly like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's that, and I'd just say watch it. I can understand people not liking it, and I can understand people loving it. It's one of those ones. But
It's
I
intriguing
absolutely
enough.
loved it. And so did Zoe. Zoe loved it too.
You and Luke Human, the only two on my letterbox who give it 9 out of 10. Everyone else is below. The one thing because I don't know any of the details, and you've consciously not really said anything there, so I'm guessing it's best to not know much.
No,
But
don't know anything.
one of the things that I've kind of seen, actually can't avoid this shit online, unfortunately, is people talking about, oh, it makes you treasure your physical media, Is that connected to this thing somehow?
People are idiots.
People are
Yes,
idiots.
it is kind of connected from
Right.
one little moment in the film, but it's not.
Right.
It's not really what the film's about.
Well, Mahershala Ali, Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke has now appeared twice in our top first-time
Yeah.
watches of 2023. Big shout out. Is he the only actor so far who has crossed over?
Richard Gere was in the other ones quite a bit, wasn't he? But
What?
Richard Gere? You mean
what's Richard Gere?
Richard Gere?
I haven't seen a Richard
Gene
Gere film in
Hackman.
ages.
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman, yeah. Gene Hackman was the star of first-time watches. Ethan Hawke is the star of 2023 watches, clearly.
Oh, it seems like it.
Well, I will be watching it, Paul. I will be. I would have liked to have seen it before the year was out, but I just couldn't make it work because of the runtime.
It's one of those ones where I'm like, I'm so glad that I like it and no one else does. Because I get so much out of it.
Apart from Luke.
Apart from Luke. Yeah.
Okay, well, we can't say nothing more on it. Adam,
Yes. Are you ready for number 4?
let's
Yes,
have
please.
it.
I think it's going to be higher up Paul's list because he would have said it if not. And it is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
It is higher up on my list.
We wait. My number 4, I'm not sure. I don't think Paul has said it, so it must be higher up on his list. Also, my number 4, 8 out of 10, Saltburn.
Oh, it was my number 10.
Oh, apologies.
This
Sorry.
is
And
Yes.
yours was number
Okay.
10 as well. Yeah.
No,
Adam,
mine-
have you
yeah,
got
yeah.
it higher up?
Yeah, it was no. This is it. It was 10.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about Saltburn.
Let's
talk
do
about
this.
Super.
Katie didn't like it.
Lots of people didn't
Actually,
like it.
mentioned-
I
Listen,
can get why you wouldn't like it. It doesn't surprise me. People.
Listen, there is so much discussion about this online. All of it is largely irrelevant because people are idiots. Not Katie. I'm not saying it about Katie, but I'm saying the majority reaction has been, oh my God, it's so shocking. It's so gross. This thing. And it's like, fuck off, man. You need to watch more films if you think that's the case.
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah.
And it's not, that's not just the basis of this film. It is a film about a societal vampire, but this vampire goes into a nest of other vampires. And that's what I loved about it.
Absolutely.
It took me a while to clock it, but the minute he gets to the house, it's like, right, okay, these are all aging, like dying spiders and vampires, and you're in their web, and you quickly realize, but you're about to eat your fucking way out of this web. And it's beautiful because it's like, it's not pro-rich, it's not pro-poor, it's not working class, it's not middle class. It's like fucking nightmares can come from all walks of life. Just because
Absolutely.
someone wasn't born with a silver spoon in their mouth doesn't make them a good person, doesn't mean you should be identifying with them, etc. You know, and there are people who are doing well in the world that can be good. Like the friend that he makes, he seems to be the only one who isn't like a vampire, even though he still has his flaws, but he's kind of like the only character in it who, despite his privilege that he was born into, he doesn't embody that monstrous behavior like the others do, but he still does bring Barry Keoghan in like a little plaything. He's only interested in him because he's this oddity. He's like this, oh yeah, this guy whose parents are all fucked up and his dad's dead and his mum is a junkie. Oh, this is interesting to me. Just like Rosamund Pike is with Carey Mulligan's character. Like, she only has her hanging around because she's like, oh, this
It's entertainment, really, isn't it?
entertainment. And it makes them feel a little bit better about their shitty lives because they're so fucking empty because they've just filled it with things and shit that doesn't
They
even
don't
matter.
have to do anything all day because they get everything done for them.
Yeah.
It's very interesting film. Very interesting.
Yeah, it is. And I didn't even realise it was from the same director who did Pretty Young Woman. Is it Pretty Young Woman? Pretty Young Woman.
No,
Is that what it's called?
That is what it's
Promising
called,
Young
isn't it?
Woman.
Promising young.
Promising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded almost right, and I was like,
I was
it
getting
doesn't sound right.
confused. Pretty Woman.
Pretty woman. Pretty young woman.
And I can see how they exist in the same universe. I thought it was great. I can see how it would rub people up
She
the
loves a
wrong
little
way.
revenge film, doesn't she? She loves a little subtle people planning and scheming.
Yeah, I mean, just everyone was a fucking cunt in it, really.
Rosamund Pike and what's his name?
Richard E. Grant.
Richard E. Grant.
Richie Grant. They stood out for me. They were the best. I just
Absolutely.
loved their characters.
They were
So
so believable because
Yeah,
I've
so
encountered.
believable.
You know, you've encountered people like that, right? Particularly
Yeah.
Rosamund Pikes.
Well, he's sitting there
Yeah.
fucking watching Saltburn, just laughing his head off. Like, it's just so
Who's
weird.
who?
Watching Saltburn.
Super bad.
Watching their own film.
Oh yes.
That's like your first introduction to him. He's just sitting there watching Superbad, just laughing his head off at them.
Yeah.
I feel like, unfortunately, it's been swallowed up with all this discourse of like the bathtub scene and all that. Like, everyone's made it about that, and it's like, okay, that's one element of it, but it's
Yeah,
not just
no.
about that stuff, you know.
That's like
There
that's
is-
like just saying that. What's it called? What's the film with Chalamet in it? It's all about eating a peach that someone's coming to.
That's
Oh,
for you.
well.
It is that tarnishes the whole fucking film for you.
It doesn't. I watched it again. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it was I guess you could say, if I was to say why is it not a 9 or a 10, it's because it is a little bit obvious at times. They do hammer it on. Like, I didn't need him to say that he was a vampire, for example. Like, I know he's not a literal vampire, but by saying that line,
metaphorical.
yeah, you take it out of the audience's mind to make the parallel.
I think
And
it
maybe-
goes too far in it over explaining the end at the end. It doesn't.
Oh,
need
100%.
Yeah.
100%, because they're caught up at that point between like half of it you've already know. You've worked out
Yeah.
half of it.
Do you reckon half of it that's because that's an Amazon film and they're putting it on a streaming service? And I think streaming services normally palette their films a little bit better
Yeah.
to people to make sure
probably.
they understand them.
Probably, yeah.
They
And
just
I
needed him dancing at the end. That's all they needed, and you get the gist.
You remember that, right? but there is something in me that goes, you only added this because you knew this would be memed and talked about all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
It's an iconic
So-
moment, yeah.
what purpose does it really serve that?
Happiness is freedom. I don't know.
It doesn't serve anything now that they've over-explained everything. If they showed that without over-explaining everything, it'd be like, oh shit, here we go.
Oh, exactly. Imagine. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're right, 100%. If they didn't do the sort of Saw reveal of, here, look at all this stuff that was
Yeah.
actually happening, and went into that, that would have been much better.
That would have been it. Everything would have been explained just by doing that.
But it was fucking great. Do you know what I loved? And,
Yeah, it
and
was.
so we should have put a spoiler alert on this
No,
fucking
we haven't
thing, because
spoiled
loads of
anything.
people
We
wanted
haven't spoiled anything.
Well, we spoke about the ending there.
Yeah, what, dancing?
Oh, yeah, true.
That's not going to
But-
say anything.
Okay, this isn't a spoiler, so I'll talk around it. But after something happens and the family are all sat at a table and Richard E. Grant is trying to hold it together,
Yeah.
and he keeps trying to be normal, and his like manservant keeps coming up to him and asking stuff, and slowly he's getting broken down, and things pass by the window outside. That whole scene was so good.
Yeah,
so
very
good.
good. Very, very good.
Curtains.
Richard E. Grant, man, and Rosamund Pike, yeah, 100%. And you're right, Paul. Those are the two. They're more standout than Barry Keoghan.
Yeah,
Both of
absolutely.
them.
Absolutely.
Barry Keoghan is a fantastic actor. I love him, but like he needs to stop playing weird little kids.
Yes, agreed.
Like he's so pigeonholed into this role now, man.
Agreed.
Like he needs to like, and I worry like because he's going to be in the new Batman film, isn't he, as the Riddler?
He was in the old Batman film as the Joker.
What are you talking about?
At the end of Batman, was he not at the end of?
Yeah, but he was Joker.
Yes, it was Joker.
Oh, in the thing.
Yeah,
In the prison-
Riddler
yeah, that's-
was Paul Dano.
Sorry, yeah, it's the other way around. I thought, yeah, okay. I thought the reveal was that it was Riddler. And okay, no, but yeah, if he's going to play the Joker, it's going to be another weird little fucking kid out there doing it. Like he needs to do a normal role. Like I almost enjoyed him more when he was being the older version of himself.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, this is I've never seen him act this way before. Like quite straight and normal.
I mean, Dunkirk's probably the most normal he's been.
Yeah.
That's true. Do you know why it's called Saltburn? I have no idea.
The name of the house was Saltburn. The estate
Yeah, I
was
know,
called Saltburn.
but it must mean something beyond that. I can only
Maybe,
think
maybe it's a
salt-
real place.
You open up a wound and you put salt on it and it burns.
you throw salt over a slug to torture
Yeah.
it and burn it to death. You could do that for vampires as well, maybe, I suppose.
You throw garlic at them.
Garlic salt, maybe.
Garlic salt, there, perfect remedy.
That's exactly why she called it that. But yeah, it was one of those ones that I was also ready to hate before I watched it.
I was I was a little bit like, oh, this has kind of got a bit too popular now and a bit too annoying. And
It is much better once they get to the house, it has to be said. The stuff at Oxford's is not, like, it had me, but not much.
you were
was a bit
waiting
sick
for it to move on. You were like,
Ras.
come on, let's get on with this now.
Yes. I was like, how the fuck is Richard E. Grant going to be in this film now?
Bring me the Grant.
Bring me the E. Grant, please.
Very
Yeah,
good.
good stuff.
Great shout.
Okay.
Is it my go?
Yes.
It is.
We're up to the top three.
Top 3.
My number 3. I think you had this on last year because I think you saw it at the end of last year. John Wick Chapter 4.
It's this year, and it's higher up on my list.
Oh, okay. I thought you saw it in a screening like the end of last
No,
year.
it came out like the
Oh.
beginning of the year, didn't it?
Like February this year.
So it's higher up, yeah?
Higher up.
Okay. On to you, Adam.
I have number 3 is How to Have Sex.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
Can't wait to see it.
It's great. I can't remember the last time I watched a film that made you feel uncomfortable from second one. Like, straight into this film, I think you immediately know kind of where this film is going through, and you were just with them, and you are just like so on the edge of your seat, and it's so like gut wrenching. It sits with you because you can feel it. When's it going to happen? When's this going to happen? When's this going to happen?
Oh dear.
Kind of film, and it's just like, I don't know if you're watching it with an older eyesight, like these people could be my kids, but like that could be like that at one point of your life. Like in that situation, you're like, it's just the innocence of these people and the overwhelming world that they've just been thrown into, and something is gonna happen at some point.
Teens abroad, basically, is it?
Yeah, it's like they're like 17, 18-year-old girls going to Malia or something like that. I think it's Malia on holiday for the first time, and like
I think they're meant to be younger, aren't they? Aren't
I
they
think
like
they're
15 or
just-
something?
I don't think they're that young. I think it's like 17. I think they're just on the age of being. They shouldn't be there yet,
Right.
but they've gone anyway, and like they're hanging around with all these people, and you're like, they're just so. I don't know. Yeah, it's just. I don't know. You just watch it again.
I
I'm on the
am
list.
delighted to announce that you can find it on your favourite streaming
Mubi.
service and mine, Mubi.
Yeah, I remember it being a movie film at the beginning, but is it on there already?
It is, yeah. I just checked,
Oh, I don't
which is delightful because I didn't realise it was available for streaming yet.
But they,
so
yeah,
I
I
will
think
be
they just do
watching that soon.
such a good way of setting the tone from the off.
I'm super intrigued because also, like, the thing is, I want the uncomfortable feeling because
But this is like, it's not even like, it's just like heart, like your heart is just like, no, like, I don't know.
let me ask you this: as someone, as a teenager, when you went on holiday and were behaving promiscuously, etc., do you see things in yourself in this film that make you ashamed?
Not to this extent, no. I think this is
Okay.
all, it's all very
Slightly
hyper-
ashamed.
I think we went, but we never went into the situations that they were in, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Like, they went to like a fucking, shows, and they get people up on stage to like do this and do that to each
Oh,
other.
yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. Watch it.
I'll be watching.
Yeah. It's just,
I will be watching it forthwith.
On
And that was
Mubi.
your third favourite on
Yes.
Mubi. What's your rating for that? 8?
9. No, it's all been
9.
9 since Godzilla.
Very good. I'm not even on to 9s yet.
I'm on 10s.
What I mean, it's been a bad year. So my third, and this is an 8th as well. This is 8, but it's wonderful. Adam's already mentioned it. It is the most unexpected arrival on my list. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, shit.
Mutant Mayhem. Good Lord. What a joy. I think what Paul is about to speak about shortly with Spider-Man is what I felt with this. But I have no real connection to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I did watch them growing up, and they were part of my TV watching, but I wasn't like obsessed with them or anything, even though I did go dress as one fancy dress once. And I'm aware of their storyline, but I wasn't that invested. I just needed to get out of the house one day, and I was like, let me go and check this out. And it was so funny. It was so funny. I feel like I've been saying that about a lot of films this year. Maybe I'm getting into touch with my funny bone, but it was so funny with such a well put together story. The voice cast is excellent. Like, it has to be said, the majority of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the cast are people of color who are playing them, but there is a white voice member of the cast as well. But it's like, that makes sense in the context of what is happening in the story. And Jackie Chan, unfortunately, of course, is Shredder, not Shredder, Splinter, but they all commit and make it so believable. It doesn't feel like a lazy, we're in the booth, let's turn up and do our voices. They are committed to the ridiculous story that they're telling, and it's basically it flashes forward from the genesis of them going down into the sewer to them being teenagers who realise that actually there is a world outside of the sewer, but Splinter, he wants to keep the boys down there, he wants to keep them safe, so he's doing everything he can. He keeps throwing big birthday parties and celebrations to keep them down in the sewer, but they want to branch out, they need to branch out, and when they finally do one night, they get caught on camera by April, and then they encounter the big bad, who is voiced absolutely amazingly by Ice Cube. It's so good, such a funny villain, and so cool and so scary at the same time. The story is so much fun. It goes hand in hand with Dungeons and Dragons as well, as like a fun, insane story, but the stakes are in this one, and I love some stakes. There's stakes in here. There's stakes for Splinter, there's stakes for some of the turtles, some of the other characters. It adds a lot of the kind of stuff that you like, Paul, with the different universes and things being sucked in one way or the other. I loved it. Genuinely thought it was amazing. I'm not liking it ironically. I just thought it was great. And Seth Rogen, being the brains behind it, shows how well that man has done for me personally, because 10 years ago this man was pissed to me. I wouldn't touch him. I disliked everything he was involved in. Increasingly I've started enjoying what he's like on screen, and now something that he's actually created. And Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails does the score. I mean, if that doesn't say all, what does? And finally, last word on it, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a post-credit scene which is inevitable. And when it happens, it was better than the Saw X post-credit scene, put it that way. Insanely good. And Paul, rush out and watch it and love it too.
Yeah, I need to. Definitely want to see that.
Ice Cube, Ice Cube probably the highlight. And it has the great line about Chris Pine being the good Chris in it as well. Splinter says it at the party. What did you give it, Adam?
I think I gave it a 7.
Oh, harsh.
It was enjoyable. It was good fun. I mean, you loved it. I think you, knowing that you loved it, it was like, okay, this is going to be good. But I think you kind of, I don't know if you had it like expecting nothing and it balloons up, and that's maybe why you lent into it a little bit more. But like, it was good. Yeah, it's good fun.
Excellent. We're down to the final twos.
Very good. Final two. This was inevitable. This was coming up. My number 2, though it might surprise you. My number 2 is The Flash. It wasn't this year. It was a long time ago that I spoke about it, but yes, it is The Flash. I went to an exclusive screening of it, and the energy in the room was so amazing that I found myself like
weeping,
verbalizing stuff like, "Oh my god!"
While
because
you were
everyone
watching
else
it?
was just getting involved as well. It wasn't just me. There was just like such a great energy. Like there was people laughing. There was people like literally gasping at certain moments. But it is just such a love letter to DC and everything that's come before it. Not just this kind of current universe that's happening, but it is emotional. It's exciting. It's exhilarating, and it's just such a wonderful time. And I know people are hating on it for some of the CGI. I didn't see any of it. I absolutely was in it and enjoyed every second of it. And man,
you were happy with it.
I adored it, man. I adored it. Even when the strange thing, I got a screener of it afterwards from the production company as well. And weirdly enough, I was watching it and I was like, maybe the CGI is bad. But then I got my 4K of it and I watched it again. And I was like, man, this is crisp. What are you talking about? I didn't understand unless they did something.
But you watched it on an IMAX screen originally, right?
Yeah.
So it's huge. So you're scrutinizing it more on an IMAX screen.
No, but I didn't see it then. I saw it on the screener, the smaller one.
On the internet,
I see.
though, so it's streamed. You can never stream the quality that you can get 4K and Blu-rays and stuff.
That might be what it is, yeah. But I could tell more then, and I was like, maybe it is bad. But then I watched it on my 4K, and I was like, nah, man, this is perfect.
So you watched it three times this year?
Amazing. I watched it 3 times this year, yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, there you go. There you go. What can you say about it? I feel like I would have watched this one were it not for Ezra Miller. But I feel like I probably would have watched it if he wasn't in it. He tarnished it for me, I'm afraid.
Will you watch it? But wouldn't Keaton bring you back more than Ezra?
Well, that's why I would watch it, because of Keaton.
So will you watch it?
But it's like 3 hours long, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. I will. I will watch it at some point, yes. Is it available to stream anywhere?
Not yet. Not yet.
I will watch it when it is available to stream somewhere, yes. I think I will enjoy seeing Keaton. I think that's a no-brainer. I will be delighted to see Keaton again. I
must be interested.
How long's Keaton on screen for overall, would you say?
He's in a massive chunk of the film.
What is that
20 minutes.
massive chunk? How much?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. Half the film? Maybe just under half?
So he dies halfway.
It's the back half.
He dies in the back half of the film.
He comes in alive.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
It's all backwards, so he's...
He dies as soon as you see him.
And then it's
And
him going backwards.
it's just his corpse they drag around.
He walks into the apartment and notices that the toaster's being used, and then turns, and then Bruce Willis blows him away.
What?
Pulp
The
Fiction.
toaster? Oh.
Well, I'm not surprised to see it feature so highly.
Yes, of course. Of course.
It's no surprise. Hey, it's Michael Shannon too, so you know.
Yeah. Probably didn't want to be there, but who knows?
There you go. Inevitable. What's Adam's number 2?
I don't think either of you have seen this film yet. I'm
Oh,
quite
wow.
surprised because it's probably one of the biggest films that came out this year.
So I know what your number 1 is now then.
My number 2 is Oppenheimer.
Ah, yes, of course.
Yes, we are yet to see it.
It is just incredible. It is so good. It's just so like. I think he does such a good job of telling this story. It's probably quite a difficult story to tell without either what do you want to call fantasizing it, but it's more about what he's created and like living with it and like the processes and almost the science and like him coming to terms with what he's done, like releasing the beast of the nuclear bomb. But it's just visually, it's just insane. Like, it's just again, it's probably one of those films you might look back on and go, oh, I wish I'd seen that in the cinema.
Yeah, exactly. IMAX. The thing, I wanted to see it in IMAX, but I just couldn't make the screenings line up for it, and now it's just gone.
It was booked for like 3 months.
I know, that's the other problem.
And they didn't put one of the, what was it they didn't put out there in, was it one of the new Marvel films didn't get an IMAX release because here in BFI.
It was Mission
because,
Impossible, wasn't it?
I mean, Mission Impossible came out before. No, but
Yeah,
there was
but
a
it would have
film
had a
that
longer
came
run.
out. I don't know, that was meant to be going in the BFI IMAX and they kept Oppenheimer running instead.
Oh.
But yeah, it's incredible. It's so good. It is kind of Nolan back to his best. It's not like what you call it, Tenet, where it's like him trying to like
David Tennant.
yeah, dick around with stuff and like be annoying. It is just good filmmaking from top to bottom.
I'm worried that I'm not going to like it. Or I'm not
I
going to
was
be like,
worried I
oh,
wasn't going to like it. I was worried like, what is there in this film to like? It's about a man making a bomb. Like,
I feel like that is quite a good story to tell, though. That could be very well told. The only thing that I'm concerned about is, do they try and humanize a man who is responsible for killing countless people?
well,
I mean,
think,
he is human, of course, but like, do they focus on that as opposed to the devastation he caused?
it's more about him and what he's dealing with. It's more
Exactly. That's where the criticisms will come from, I guess.
But it's done. So the story has been told. So I actually can't remember the exact way. But Robert Downey Jr. They're trying to trial him for being a traitor and become a communist.
Commie bastard.
And he's like defending it, and they're going through the history of him and with the government almost. Is how the film has been told. But
Sounds
it's
very
like,
dull.
I wouldn't say they're trying to humanize him. There is parts of it where he's aware from the beginning what it means, but then they're also at the same time aware of what it means if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because they're like,
I think
you've killed 500,000 people, but you've effectively saved 5 million people's lives by stopping the war. Like, how long is this war going to go on for? It's never going to end. You're just going to keep sending people in there forever and ever and ever. All that kind of stuff. That's the way it's looked at, and I don't think. Yeah, I think just watch it.
Yes, it needs to be watched. It needs to be seen. I think you have to. We just have to pay for it because I don't think it's going to be streaming for free anytime soon.
I mean, it's coming out on Sky. I keep seeing it advertised on Sky at the moment, saying coming
probably
soon.
get it soon then.
It's saying coming soon this year. I don't know when it's coming out, but they keep throwing all the films that are coming soon. So I guess it would be on there in the next 2-3 months.
So Oppenheimer beat Barbie for you.
Oh yeah, they're a different caliber of film.
Yeah. I have just logged into Letterboxd and used that Showtimes and tickets, and it's
Being shown
in
still.
like 5 different cinemas today.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Go after this.
I'll stay here. Very good. Well, we'll be skipping over this then because it must be Adam's number 1. My number 2 is Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, I've said it already.
Well, my brain's going. When did you put Killers of the Flower
I
Moon?
put it down at number 5.
When did we talk about Killers of the Flower? Oh, because
We
we,
didn't,
said
I just said.
I've got it higher. Yes, sorry, apologies. Well, here
Well,
we
you
go.
even said put a pin in that. I think is what
Come on,
your
no,
words were.
now, no spoilers for me.
No spoilers. It's a big monster of a film. It's a different kind of Scorsese film in that it's focusing on a group of people that infamously it's been spoken about whether or not he should have told the story or whether they should have. But the reality is he's told it to a mass audience and everyone is appalled by what happens in it. And that's great that America particularly is being forced to look at what they were part of, what they were complicit in.
The atrocities.
Yeah. And Scorsese not only just makes that clear and direct, he does it with his unique style of storytelling and flourishes. And it's a film of incredible performances from everyone. Is there a bad performance in the film, Adam?
I don't think so, especially from your main cast, like your main 15 characters of the film. I think.
Who do you think's better, De Niro or DiCaprio?
De Niro.
Yeah, hands down.
De Niro.
It
Every
feels
single
like it
day.
should have been DiCaprio, but it's De Niro.
I feel like DiCaprio's character is how people almost see him now, as like a bumbling idiot. I mean, everything's
true.
fading. The aura around DiCaprio is slowly fading. Maybe the more he tries
isn't
to
it?
date 19-year-olds and like
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's like the pretty boy from Titanic is slowly becoming a distant memory.
Yeah.
But he's
And,
still very good in it. But it's just
He is great. They're all great. It is jarring when and no spoilers, when Brendan Fraser turns up, his performance is a bit
I
like,
forgot
oh,
he was
right.
in it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know he was in it.
Well, it's not a surprise that he's in it. It's just that he turns up and he's like from a different film, it feels. And you're like,
well,
huh.
that whole part there is almost kind of like a different film, though.
It is. But I mean, yeah, it's very rewatchable, but not because you want to watch the barbarity, but kind of like there's a lot going on there, and
It
you
is
want
a
to
lot.
appreciate
I
it.
don't know if I'd ever rewatch it because it's a lot. Like
It is a lot.
especially with nearly 4 hours. Was it 3.5 hours, 3:40 or something like that? In it,
340 or something like that. Yeah,
Like-
I didn't need to go to the toilet.
But
Amazingly,
you're just so engrossed in it. But
yeah,
and there's a lovely little bit at the end from Scorsese.
yeah, and there is genuinely like. It's not because it's Scorsese and so you can't criticize him, but it is a case of Scorsese is not being like, oh, let me focus on the white people here. He is fucking telling the story of terrible, awful monsters, and he's showing you it from their perspective, and you as an audience have to use your intelligence to go, oh, maybe these people are bad people, as opposed to let's follow the good people in the film and then you'll know that these are the good people. It's about giving your audience some sense of trust and actually believing they can, enter into a dialogue with the film. You don't have to go, these are the bad guys and these are the good guys, just to be clear. You go, here's the bad guy and you're going to ride with him for a bit. Are you happy with what he's doing here? Are you happy watching this?
And especially when especially when it's
Scorsese,
set out the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very hard to like, here, put it this way. If you want to hear a great conversation on this, go and listen to Alex and Julio talk about it on their Patreon. They spent a good 90 minutes picking over all of it, and it's all very, very, very well discussed there. I would find it very hard to, even if all three of us had seen this, I don't think we'd be having much of a different conversation than what we're saying right now. There's no like, oh, we can't properly talk about it because you haven't seen it yet, Paul. It's just, it's brilliant. And the reason it ain't a 10 out of 10 for me is just because it is a world slightly removed from what I think Marty does best. And even though he's made a great effort, it feels at times like he's almost making up for the fact that he doesn't have full grasp of everything by spending a lot longer on things than he needs to. Like, I don't think I think Irishman needed to be as long as it was. This one
could have
perhaps
lost half hour. It still needs to be an epic. It would still need to be a big epic, but it could have lost some fat.
Yeah. Anyway, it's again why he's a great filmmaker, because it's like, let's trust our audience to figure it out rather than spoon feed.
Yeah, I definitely need to see it. Hopefully
That
that
brings
brings
us-
us Sky soon.
Apple, I think.
Or is it Apple? Oh, damn it!
I know. I cancelled
I
my
need-
Apple subscription the other day. Do you know they've jacked up the price to $8.99?
Of course they have.
They ain't
Of
got
course they
nothing
have.
on there that I want to watch anymore. So
The one time I got a trial, I was like, "What? Nothing's on here."
I mean,
you
so
watched Ted
Severance,
Lasso and bowed out.
Severance is all right. That's on there. There's a really good documentary on the Super League on there.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna love that, aren't I?
You
That
scumbags
Michael J.
of football.
Fox documentary is on there.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
and I think Napoleon's going on there as well soon.
Forget
Apparently it's shit.
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
I'm kind of
Come on
interested
in.
in it.
Our
still,
number
though.
ones. We're
You're
here.
my number
We're
one.
at that moment.
My number one film of 2023. Of course, I haven't spoke about it, and it is absolutely incredible. And it's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
It is
Now, for
good.
me, I just think it is absolutely incredible, like how they'd even conceive animating this. Because there's so many different styles of animation going on in every frame, and there's so many different characters, like just coming onto each scene or each frame. It's like, how did this even happen? And this must have taken ages. And not only that, it's just an incredibly emotional story as well that I really got wrapped up in. And I absolutely adored it, man.
It's
And
good.
It beats the first one. And it's one of the best Marvel films that's ever been.
I'll give you that. I'll give you props on that. I might be agree with that. It's just the creativity behind I just think it is so good. It's so well done. The only thing I think that just holding
Adam,
this
where did this feature in your...
came number 4.
Right.
The only thing I think that's holding it back for me is the being at the part 1 and part 2.
I just think that's fucking ballsy as fuck. Just leave it
No,
like
I get it. I'm like, but I can't. It's a bit like Dune. It's like you enjoy it, great, but it really is a part 1 over part 2, and I can't really talk about. You can't really give it its props until it's all put together. I really need, I still need some payoff of this story.
Okay, we'll say the same about Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, but I've seen them all now, so I don't care. Like once I get when I get the
So
payoff,
you could maybe elevate a score
I could
on this
elevate it
if
once I
you've
see
watched
it.
the whole
The
picture.
payoff.
Right.
It's like June at the moment. June at the moment is really good. It's enjoyable, but if they fuck up this next film and it's not worth the payoff for the first film, I'm like, well, that's kind of all for nothing. And it's a bit like Lord
I
of the
don't know
Rings.
about
It's
that.
like the Fellowship of the Ring is great, but like you need the other films to elevate that film even higher.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
the
but
best
I
one.
disagree. You could, so here's my take on it. So it's a 7. It featured in my honourable mentions, but it's a 7 out of 10 for me. But I think with something like The Two Towers, for example, that stands on its own, regardless of being in the middle of a trilogy. Like the film should stand on its own,
I think
regardless
they
of
do
what
now
comes before
because
and after.
you know what's coming with it. Like you
No,
you
because
view that
mate,
as
I
a
went to the
package.
cinema and saw the second one. I didn't know what was coming next.
You just enjoy it for what it is, right? It's a film.
Yeah.
I think this
And
one
it's
is
start and
it
end.
kind of left in that tinge where I was like, I need.
Yeah, but I'm agreeing with you to an extent here because that's what I'm saying. This film doesn't do that for me. That's why it's a 7, because it's ridiculously long for one thing, and when you get the best moment of the film, which is the ending, I agree, it's great. It's like it does make you want to go, oh come on, let's. But it's like, I wish you hadn't told me 2 hours of the story you've told me so far, so that we could get to this point, and let's have that story, please, because it was so fucking overwhelming. It was too much. It was like video game aesthetic. It was like someone who's been playing video games for 6 hours, immersed in it, getting it washed all over their brains. There was too much happening all the time in the film. And it was like, oh fuck man, half the time, right, genuinely characters are talking and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. I genuinely don't know what you're saying because you're all wearing masks, so I can't see which one of you's talking, and I don't know what you're saying, and things are moving so fast, and dialogue things are popping up on the screen, and I know, Paul, that you like that because you're like, then you can rewatch it and pick up things, and I get that.
Yeah.
But when I was watching it, I was like, I'm shutting down. I'm disconnecting from this because I can't. And I really like the first one. I wanted to like this one, and the first one is miles better. Miles Morales better for me.
Well done.
They are, I think, yeah. Also, I also went into the film not knowing it was part 1 or part 2.
You're obsessed, mate.
I know you are
No, but
obsessed with that.
when you get to the point when it happens, you're like, oh, okay. If I known in going into it, I say like, okay, I'm going into this film knowing that there's going to be a second one coming out that is not even just like a continuation; it's directly linked to this film. Like, you need to have the part like a part. Then I'm a bit like, okay, I get it now. Like, you come up with your expectations, but at the end of the film, when it's coming up to the big reveal, and you're like, okay, great, and then it ends, and you're like, oh, and then it says, we'll see you next year. We'll see you in like 5 years' time for part 2.
Miles Morales will return.
I'm like, oh, okay.
I know.
See, I think
That's
it all
the
depends
only
how
thing
much
that
how much
really-
it's got you. Really,
really held
if
me
you're
back.
wrapped around its finger and then it's like you're really like into it, and then it goes, no, it's ending here. I was like, fuck, man, no, I wanted to carry on. I was so into it,
Were you
and I
not
see that as a good thing.
burnt out by the point you got to that with everything that
No,
happened
man,
before?
I was so wrapped up. I think it's amazing.
Also, I would say it was a great cinema watch. Everyone in there was like on board with it. I think maybe like everyone was laughing. It was everyone was with this film the whole way in there, and it was completely packed as well.
What do you think
I
of
would-
like the Gwen's like universe? Don't you think it was quite beautiful, like the very artistic kind of emotional style of that art?
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Everyone going into a different culture. It was good. Like, it was all very good. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying this is what's holding it back from being like a 10 out of 10. Was like, I needed that. I need something for me.
You need a part 2.
I need the part 2, and then I'll come back and we'll have this conversation. We like rewind 5 years. It's like 5 years. The next one, isn't it?
I don't know. Who knows?
It was
I don't
it
know.
was the most like animators ever working on a film on this film, wasn't it, as well?
But you know what? That it can be a good thing and a bad thing, and I think I personally view it as a bad thing because what it meant was it was overset. Do you know what it was like? It was like pick and mix. Here's a shitload of sugar. Take it all in, and it's like, well, this is too much. I like seeing different universes. I would have preferred,
Just a nice white chocolate mouse.
yeah, white chocolate mouse for 30 minutes, and then let's
And then
move on to the strawberry
Coca-Cola
for 20, caterpillar, Coca-Cola bottle, exactly. But instead, it was all at once. Eat it all now, and it's like my teeth are hurting, and it's like, no, we're going to keep feeding you for 2 more hours now, please. Are you
Nice
enjoying
food
this?
analogy. I like it.
Yes. And I was like, this is good. I wish I understood more than I did as well. And I'm sure there were lots of references I didn't get. Like, for example, why was Childish Gambino in it?
Why not?
So
Oh, yeah,
he's not
because-
connected to any of the other films, no?
He is. He's in the Spider-Man Tom Holland universe.
Right. So I haven't seen those films, but I liked that I could see that they were stitching that stuff. So that's why it would appeal to people who know more about it and whatnot. So it lost a little something there for me. But it was just all too much for me, to the detriment of it.
That's fine. I can totally see that. Absolutely. It is very overwhelming, but it depends whether you're absorbing it or not, I guess.
I heard that Gwen, and I only picked it up halfway through. I had to watch it in 3 chunks, Paul, because it was too much. I started at Christmas Eve, finished it New Year's Eve. I heard that Gwen is transcoded. Have you heard this?
No.
So the implication is that she's trans, and if you watch it with that lens, you'll pick up loads of it. All the colours in her outfit and in her universe are the trans flag.
I think I've seen the rumor as well.
The creators have all but confirmed it. There's lots of coding in her uniform and the things she says and does.
Well, did you
which
see
imply
that,
she
Paul,
is
Ben,
trans.
or did it?
Okay.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
think, yeah.
I mean, is this one of those things like the Matrix universe where
No.
the creator's just going to go, yeah, that's correct.
Oh, mate, we're in 2024 now. It would almost be weird if she wasn't.
It's true. I know, but but you saying the creators haven't confirmed it. It's just that's what I'm just asking the question because I don't know. I haven't read anything about it or even looked into it.
Audience response to interpretations of Gwen as trans or of her story as an allegory for trans identity was positive. According to writers and media outlets covering the film, Hansford wrote that whether Gwen Stacy is trans, an ally, or simply a metaphor for the trans experience, many fans have praised the inclusion of a trans-coded superhero overcoming adversity in a world hell-bent on suppressing her.
Discuss that as a plot point and then maybe it'll be something, but it's just like, okay.
Well, yeah. Anyway. Daniel Kaluuya was the best thing about it.
Oh, yeah, his rocker.
Yeah, his punk Spider-Man is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, very good. We have a Marvel film at number 1 for Paul.
There we go. Where's it going to go
I think
for
me and you are
Adam?
going to have the same film.
Me and you, Adam.
Oh, yeah, well, you know it's going to be, because
Here
I'm
it
still
is.
waiting
Yeah.
for it to appear.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. John,
John
Wick,
Wick.
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4.
Yes, it was my number
Just
3.
So good.
So
Just-
good.
Amazing.
What? Like,
I'm kind of disheartened that a film that I saw back in February is that no film that I watched this year beat it.
yeah, but it's still. Do you give it a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10?
It's a 9, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a 9 for me.
I give it a 10.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, it's just incredible. Like that world that has been built.
Yeah.
Especially when you go back and look at the first film now, it's like you can't almost watch the first film in the same way anymore because it's like I just want more.
I know,
Like
the
these
world
films
building.
have given you so much more.
Just
since.
show me the
Yeah.
world. It's too down and basic, the first one. Now it's like you just want to you want it to flesh the world out a bit.
I don't know if you've watched the Amazon series on it.
Oh, I still haven't watched it yet. No.
I watched one episode. I've given up on it. I can't be bothered. I'm like, the reason why I want to watch John Wick is to watch John Wick
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
character. I can't be bothered to get into a whole world of new characters. And also, it's not the same production value. Like, if they release them as films, I mean, each episode's an hour and a half as well. So it's like, you could ideally release these in the cinema, put a little bit more emphasis in it. And I probably might get a little bit more on board with it.
Yeah.
Probably a bit like what they're going to with Ballerina. Is that the other one they're going to do now?
You're going to watch that though, aren't you? With Diarmas in it.
Yeah. Well, like, but they're going to put proper, like, if it's going to be proper, like, do it properly. Don't just whack it on a TV show. Don't advertise it, anything like that, and just go. I think they realise, oh, this is shit. We just put it out there anyway.
That's the new trend though, isn't it? With films now, it's like, oh, let's make a TV spin-off.
But it's like also like The Boys as well. It's like I can't be bothered to watch this fucking Gen V thing.
I've watched it.
And
It's quite
everyone's
good.
like, it's all right, but like I've watched like 3 of them, and I'm like, I just can't. I just don't want to get into a whole world of new people. It's just like, great. Yeah. Anyway, we're not here. We're talking about John Wick. John Wick is fantastic. John Wick is incredible.
It
Yes.
is incredible.
But the
set
reason this
piece
one is so
incredible
good,
as well.
the set piece is very good. The Donnie Yen balances this out. This is what makes this one better than any of the other ones. It's because the addition of Donnie Yen, you had someone who's that skilled alongside John Wick as well.
Yeah,
Not
sure.
replacing him alongside is brilliant. The whole spectacle. I had the IMAX experience with it as well, which made it amazing. Me and Jenny went and saw it back in February. Guys, go and check out the Patreon episode, I think, on it as well. We did a Patreon
Yeah.
record at the time on that. But I have got to be honest. For me, knowing me, I'm disappointed. I'm as much as I love this, and it is the best film that was released this year that I saw. That's the caveat, obviously. I'm disappointed that a John Wick film is the best film that I saw that was released in 2023. Like, that tells me how bad this year has actually been for cinema overall. That it ended up being
I
a
think it
John
tells you
Wick
how
film.
good this film is, in my opinion.
You're
Like,
right. There you
I've had
go.
6 9s.
That's the
You've got
positive look.
Killers of the Flower Moon in your list.
I know. I know.
You got The Killer in your list.
But isn't that mad that I enjoyed this more?
Yeah.
I think it's a better film.
But I think there's half the thing of nowadays when I'm looking at film is not escapism, but like it's enjoyment. This John Wick is pure enjoyment. It doesn't make you. Killers of the Flower Moon is great. It tells you a story, but you come out of it and you're like
I know.
contemplating, and it makes you a bit like, oh. But like you watch John Wick and you're like, great, let's go and have fun. Just watch it if you haven't watched it. It's great. Watch them all, love them all. I don't think I've given any of them a 10 for some reason, but I love them all.
I give 2 a 10.
Dearly.
As in 2 films a 10.
Shout out to Lance Reddick.
Yeah, boy. Rest in
Dunham.
peace.
Agent Dunham.
And do you reckon this is it?
No, because
Adam
we had
be-
this
Adam believes
conversation at the
he's dead.
time, Adam. Anyone who has seen John Wick 4 and believes John Wick is dead, you are a fool. That he is very much alive and he's out of shot, and the dog saw him, and they all know at the grave that he's alive. That's why they're chuckling away.
But he should be. I know he's not dead, but like they should just leave him dead. Like Batman's not dead at the end of Dark Knight.
But the thing,
This is fucking mega spoilers. We should probably cut this out or put a spoiler warning in
I
here.
feel if you're still here at this point and you're listening to us talk about John Wick 4, I think you've probably seen it.
Yeah, you'll
and
be
if you
alright.
haven't, you don't care enough about it anyway. But the thing is, unlike other franchises, John Wick keeps getting better. It's not like they
I
need
think
to just
one more
kill
would
it.
be 9. I want 5. I like the number 5 over the 4.
Yeah,
It's already
just
coming. It's already in
keep
production.
doing it. It is in production, yeah. And just do it until he can no longer believably be that person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
don't
then when
wait
you
until
can't,
he's like
get
60.
Get Tom Cruise to do it. Isn't he like mid 50s anyway?
Well,
Keanu
we've got
Reeves.
to finish up with him very soon then, don't we?
Like he's been Matrix was 97.
I do not know when he was born. He's 59. Fuck. Jesus. They better get that fifth one made now. You're about
Good
to have a
old
heart
Keanu.
attack.
It's what happens when you're positive about the world and you're happy. You don't age.
I will confirm once again that the man cannot act to save
No, he
his
can't.
life.
But that's what makes the character work of John Wick. Because
Yes.
it's like
But it's almost
he just doesn't
it's
have to
almost
say
better
anything.
because
Yes.
yeah.
Well, there we go.
There we go. Look at that. That's
What
the
a year.
2023 wrap up.
Boys,
Wow.
this recording has been insane. Listeners, I don't know if you are aware, we've been recording, we started recording almost 5 hours ago.
Yep. And we have been non-stop.
This is the longest recording we've ever done, I think.
And we still haven't finished.
Exactly.
Should we do our next section? The last bit before we say
fuck, yeah,
goodbye?
Jesus.
What?
Yes.
Oh, we've got to change. I haven't even thought of the films I've got
I
to
told you
change.
to do it, Adam. You should
Well,
have.
go on,
So you can look
think
through.
on your feet.
I've got my choices, so I can do it. So just so everyone knows, whoever wins the quiz, they get the chance to change 2 extra films ratings from all the films we've done in the past, just to rectify any mishaps they did in the past. And then second place gets 1, and then first place just gets the single one that we're always allowed to change every year. Shall I tell you my first one?
So you get 3, Paul, to change, is
I
it?
get 3, yes.
Adam gets 2,
Yep,
and
you
I get 1. Go on,
Yeah.
tell me your first one while Adam scrambles to think about what he's going to do.
I want to rectify this one for Ben's sake, and it just needs to happen because I can't just leave it at this score. This is Halloween Kills. It's going from a 5 to a 7. So
Oh,
that's
lovely.
going to boost
Well-
it up on the list nicely. So it was sitting on a nice 7.5. Now it's going to a 7.75.
Lovely.
So that takes up to a 7.8 basically. So there's not many films in the 7.8 section, but the first one it's got to contend with is Beautiful Thing.
Oh, Scott was also involved in that one. It's better than Beautiful Thing,
It's better than Beautiful Thing.
so up it goes.
Nah, Better Beautiful Thing is better.
Doesn't
The
matter.
Five
Me and
Bloods.
Paul outvote. It's better than the Five Bloods.
It's better
Can't
than
remember
the Five Bloods.
well
Yeah.
enough.
Good.
Scream 2022.
Yeah, it's better than that.
It's better. It's better because it didn't do anything.
Look at the baby fly. Look at the baby fucking fly.
And It Chapter 2.
It Chapter 2. Yeah, it's better than
Yeah.
that.
I'm going to
I
say
think-
It Chapter 2 is better. I'm going to say
Yes, that would be your honest answer, and that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I'm glad that Kills escaped the middle draw.
There we go. What did Adam give it? It Chapter 2. That's
7,
7.
probably.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, so that's correct. Wonderful.
Cool.
Do you want my next one?
Yes.
Okay, so my next one would be I wanted to rectify a horrible thing I did in our almost first year, 2019, and I want to smash down a film that needs to be smashed down. And I'm smashing
Right.
down Green Book, which was on a 7 to a 5.
Oh, wow. Oh, good. good. Well, that's, yeah. Okay. I should also take that down a fucking notch as well. Reprehensible little thing.
Okay, so that's an 8, a 6, and a 5. That's what we previously give it, and that makes it a 6.33.
I'm going to give that film, and I'm going to drop my rating on that film as well from an 8 to a 6.
Oh, baby, this is going
Oh,
low.
Lord.
This is going low.
What does it get?
A 5.66.
5.66.
Yes, so where's it gone from?
Hang on, Green Book is on the list as 5.5 because OT gave it a 1. Don't forget.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Okay, it's going lower. It's going to go so low.
Yeah, what is it now?
Now it's a 4.5.
Well, justified. Bottom 10.
Justified. Yeah, it's gone from a 5.5 to a 4.5. Is it a 4.5? Was it? Yeah, I said yeah. 4.5. Bottom 10 films of all time.
Above the Meg.
Yeah, it's
Above
taken the
the
number
Meg.
9 spot. Well deserved.
I mean, it is better than the Meg, despite how problematic it is. It is better than the Meg. So yeah, that's correct. So what came out of the relegation zone? Oh no, Green Book was already in the relegation zone.
Army
Yeah,
of Darkness.
It pushed Army of
Army-
Darkness out of the bottom 10, so
Yeah.
it's in the bottom 20 now instead.
there we go. Look at that. That's nice.
Wow.
And my last one. What should my last one be? Oh yeah, I know exactly what my last one's going to be. And we've just been speaking about this franchise. I'm giving it John Wick Chapter 3 a 10 out of 10 from a 9 out of 10. It's
Fucking
going.
hell.
Oh, it's shooting up. So it's gone straight into the top 20.
Wow. It's
There
not
we go.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off out from that 20
Yes.
spot.
Yes. So let's see where it's going to place. It's got a straight up 9. It's got to beat One Night in Miami. It beats that for me.
Yeah, One Night in Miami is better.
Yeah, beats that.
What did you give One Night in Miami?
I don't know.
You give it a 9.
8 probably. 9.
That means you
I'm
can't
just-
because you give this an 8.
Oh, why do you have to do it by the rules? Why can't you
But
just
that's
do it
true.
off
I
gut?
don't-
Adam, you could give this a 9 with your other score if you wanted to.
That's true.
Yeah, but I think I need to change something else. That's annoying me.
Okay.
Well, it goes below One Night in Miami then.
Yeah, that's accurate. It should. It should.
Yeah.
Because, yes, it should.
Yeah, there we go. So it's at number 17. That's what.
Number
that's what it
17,
is
very
now, yeah.
good. That means King of Comedy is in the danger spot in our
there
top
we go.
20.
There we go. And that's all my changes.
Well, that's very good. Soon
Go
our
on,
top
Adam.
20 is going to consist of only 9 plus films.
All right. I
Yeah.
There's a film that I think is a little bit too high, and it's annoyed me more since.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And it's Solo.
Oh, baby.
Oh, okay. Fair. Because every time we do compare things, you always
Yeah.
go, oh, why did I give Solo that? That's a good shout.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Solo from an 8 to a 6.
To a
Good
6.
choice.
Ooh.
Good choice.
What did you give Solo, Ben?
I gave it a 6.
So
You gave
where
it a
is
7.
Yeah, I give it a 7. So that's taken it from a 7 to a 6.33. Let's see what it's got to contend with. It's got to
Okay.
contend with Eyes Without a Face. So you guys give Eyes Without a Face a 6, right?
Yeah, I think Solo's better. It hurts me to say it, but I believe it is.
Yeah, I might agree on that one, but
It probably-
it's not going to beat the next
It
one.
probably is better, yeah.
For me.
Home Alone 3.
I think Home Alone 3 is better.
Yeah, I mean, ridiculous as it is, yes, Home Alone 3 is better.
Okay, that's where it goes. There we go. Wow.
Who would have thought
3.
Home Alone 3 would beat something in the first ever face-off it had to go into?
You've done a wonderful thing. There we go. Sorted.
Oh,
And
mate.
then, Ben, what are you going to do?
Well, I've got to tell you, I feel bad, but I just have to be true to it because I'm surprised that I hadn't already changed. I thought I'd done it before. And I feel a little bit bad about this because I'm not doing it to hurt you, Paul. I'm doing it with all the love in the world. I'm just being honest
Yeah, go
because I had a look through all the films and I'm like, this is the one that I feel strongest about. And when I rewatched Joker,
Oh,
I
shit.
found
Okay.
it a little bit nastier than it passed me by the first time round in a sort of, oh, this makes me feel slightly uncomfortable way. So at the time on Letterboxd, I dropped it from a 9 to an 8.
Okay.
And that is what I'm going to do here because I know Joker's already doing very well, and I wanted to play with films that are in the significant spots. So
Okay, that's cool.
I'm gonna drop it down to an 8. I don't think it's going to damage it very much, but
It's still in a 9. It's still a 9. So
when I go head to heads, when I do head to heads, if Joker's there on a 9 with certain things, it won't be right for me. So I've got to think about my head to heads in the
Yeah,
year
of
to
course.
come. So it goes down to an 8, and it's still going to do very
Yes.
well, I'm sure.
So Joker, it was a 9.3 and it was in 9th spot and it's been knocked down to a 9. So it's still in the top 20. But once again, it's up against, well, no, now it's up against, what film was put below that?
John Wick.
John Wick.
No, what
It's
John
up
Wick?
against John Wick.
John Wick.
Oh shit!
I was saying John Wick Chapter 3 is...
Yeah, John Wick's better.
No, I don't know.
Well, there you go. It's below John Wick. Actually, wait.
No,
Does that make sense?
Adam gives John Wick Chapter 3 an 8.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I
and
just
it
stopped
gives-
myself.
Oh, shit. Yeah, so he gives
I was
Joker
going to
more.
update. I was going to up John Wick.
Oh yeah, so,
by one.
Joker goes above
Joker
John Wick.
above One Night. Okay, so Joker goes above John Wick. So how about One Night in Miami? It's better for me than One Night in Miami.
One Night in Miami I gave it a 9. So.
Yeah, so you can't.
I would say One Night in Miami is.
You gave One Night in Miami a 9 also, so it's definitely up to you what you want to do.
I'm going to say One Night in Miami is better, as I know it's not going to be the next one for me.
All right, there we go. It's at the number 17.
You made him
spot.
upset, Ben.
No, I haven't.
I haven't. I haven't. And the thing that's significant and really, this is the bit that's criminal. This is why I feel justified. Is that means that Joker, I believe, is 17th, 18th.
Yeah,
17th.
Yeah,
and that means King of Comedy is the new number 20. So King of Comedy is about to be pushed out of the top 20. And Joker is sitting above King of Comedy. So that's why I don't feel too bad, because Joker's still fucking above King of Comedy somehow. Yep.
Well, there we go. That was decent. Well done,
chaos.
guys. It was chaos.
Chaos as always.
It's always chaos at end bit. People probably have no idea what's going on, but we enjoy it, and that's what counts.
We do.
Also, this year we are going to hit film 200.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, we are.
Lovely
What's
stuff.
it going to be, and who will get to pick it?
Oh, I wonder.
We're about 20 films off.
Well, I tell you what, we're going into a new year, boys. All clean, spanking, brand new.
It's all exciting stuff, and that was a hefty episode, so I think we should end it now before it goes on any longer.
Yes, and I am so tired.
Happy New Year.
That was
I've got to
draining.
fucking
Goodbye, this is
another meeting
Jeez.
now. We stopping.
Bye, everyone.
Deals Busters.